One last question, then we're going to have to wrap it up.
Number 16, does the Lord really have a plan for us, and does He know everything we do before we do it?
Amen. That's an excellent question, and probably a good concluding question. Does the Lord really have a plan for us, and does He know everything we do before we do it? Does the Lord really have a plan for us? Does He have a plan for each and every one of our lives? Is there something that He has for us? Who wants to tackle that one from our distinguished? I think Pastor Mason is looking it up. He's Googling it. He said, "Well, you Google this one. See what Wikipedia says about it."
Jeremiah. In Jeremiah, God says, I know the plans I have for you. Plans for your good and not for ill. And he further says in Isaiah that I saw you before you were born in your mother's womb. The Bible teaches that God is omniscient. He knows everything. He knows your strengths, and He knows your weaknesses. He knows your gifts. He knows your potential. He does not take away your power of choice to choose to follow the direction that He gives, but He knows everything about you. Here's one of the things that struck me about this. That is, if He knows everything about you, if He knows you so well that He knew you before you were born, He knew you before your parents knew you, that means He knows all the good about you, and He knows all the bad. Now, let's be real. Sometimes we can hide the bad from other people, but we can't hide it from God. And even though He knows all of that, He still loves you. And He still loves you. And all that He knows, including the bad, His only intent is to bring us to a good end. So that means even though we may be going through some rough times, and as young people, you may not experience yet all the disappointment that may come in your life. But God's intent through all of that, because of His love, is to bring you to a good end. As you choose to live with Him each day, then it will also be a good trip to that good end. If I could conclude with something that's just on my mind into a previous question. I was looking at Matthew, I believe, chapter 6. Jesus said, when you pray, go into your closet and shut the door and pray to your Father in secret. And if you pray to your Father in secret, He will reward you openly. This is the thing that struck me about this that I just want to share. And that is, when He said shut the door, He's saying, this is your time to pray one-on-one. Not like you hear prayers in church. When you shut the door, you don't have any pressure to sound churchy. You don't have to sound like the pastor. You don't have to sound like the elder. You don't even have to sound like your parents. Is when you get in that shut door situation with God one-on-one, you can just be real with Him. And that means you can actually tell God, He's big enough to handle it. You can tell Him, God, I ain't feeling it now. I don't even feel religious right now. I really don't feel like doing this now, but I would encourage you to do this, young people. Ask God to make sure that you consistently go in your prayer closet, one-on-one with Him, every day. And if you can do it at the same time every day, even if it's only 2 or 3 minutes, make sure you do it every day. And the experience that you start having with God, you may not feel it the first day, but if you keep doing it, something's going to start happening between you and God. It may not happen with anybody else in your life at that time, but something's going to happen between you and God. And all of a sudden, subconsciously, you're going to find that you spent 5 minutes with Him when last week it was only 2, and you enjoyed it. Then it's going to creep to 7 minutes and 10 minutes. Don't be intimidated by, here's some saint in church talking about, I get up 4 o'clock and I pray to the Lord from 4 to 8. They probably do. But they probably started it a long time ago. Don't feel like you got to do it according to how somebody else did it. Do it your way, in private, with God. Shut door, closet, you and God one-on-one. Guess what? The end product, you're going to get a big reward openly. And I would humbly submit part of that reward is all of us when we get to heaven, we're going to be wearing our bling.
Amen, amen. Let's give our panelists a hearty amen, hand clap. Our fighter amen over here on the side, Pastor Mason. If you Google him, look him up on YouTube, you'll see he had a big afro. He used to play one-on-one Dr. J. His wife, yes, Pastor Matthews.
When I was youth director, this was brought significantly to me. How many people were saved on the ark when the earth was destroyed the first time? How many young people? How many young people? 0. So this is serious. What we're doing here today is not for entertainment. What you're trying to gain from the federation, from your church, from your parents, because God will not afford sin to come up a second time. No young people were saved. None. So this is serious.